Ooh, it's the night of Halloween, where illegal activity happens, debauchery happens, underage stuff happens, and it's just another holiday for companies to make money and blatantly rip people off. Now, I'm just going to give you a heads up in this vid. I could have dressed up. Got my Freddy jumper just right there, actually. But, I'm going to say things in this video that are very controversial, but facts have got to be, out there. And although I have got a few costumes for Halloween, OnlyFans guys, just joking, I'm going to say something that's going to offend a lot of people in this vid. And I think I've got maybe a vid about this subject somewhere. If I do, it'll be in the four corners. I don't know. So, Halloween originally started in Ireland, I think. I don't know. The whole point of Halloween is it gives people a reason to dress up and just have a good time. Just enjoy life, yeah? Without knowing what Halloween's about. You know what it's about if you've got knowledge and stuff, but if you don't, just look it up. I'm going to explain it to you. But as Christians and Catholics, we don't celebrate Halloween. Even though I dress up for it, and someone would say, is that Halloween for you? No, that's just an everyday night for me. I've got so many things I can dress up as, but I just decided to be myself. Now, tonight I've actually got my Freddy Krueger jumper there, and I might wear the hat, I don't know. It's a cold night. But on Halloween, we should remember that it's horror based. It's fantasy, it's murderers, it's all this other stuff. So my question is, why are you encouraging kids to do this? Why are you promoting violence and horror to underage kids? I don't agree with that. It's not like Christmas, it's not like Easter where it's kid friendly. This is, more for an adult sort of event. That's how I look at it. Why do you encourage kids to go knocking on strangers' doors, dressed up, asking for candy? Now, shouldn't we encourage kids to eat healthier? Don't get me started on health and stuff. But there's a line of dressing up as a fairy, dressing up like a princess or anything. Those costumes are fine for kids, yeah? I don't disagree with that. Or superheroes. But then there's costumes that are very inappropriate for underage kids, and I think that we shouldn't be encouraging our kids to dress up as Harley Quinn. Like, I'm sorry, but Harley Quinn is a psychopathic murderer. Right? And you're encouraging your kids to dress that way. Don't forget Harley Quinn has the short shorts, the fishnets, and the top. So why are you dressing your underage kids that way? Underage kids should not be wearing fishnet stockings and dressing like a psychopathic killer. A witch is one thing, with long covers up all their bits and pieces, but when they dress to a point where you can see legs and chest, that's not appropriate for kids. And I'm sorry, but if you're an adult and you're encouraging your kids to dress that way, then you're not doing the world the favour. You're giving pedophiles a lovely thing to look at, but you're sexualising your kids at such a young age. And I'm sorry, but I don't approve of that. Dressing up your kids as fairies or, it's fine. But then when you start dressing them inappropriately, like, go on Instagram and Threads and just type in Halloween costumes, and you will see that I'm not making this shut up. Okay, let's actually see if we can actually do that. Actually, give me a second, I'll get my phone. Alright, so I'm on Threads. Okay, so the very first thing I look at is the very first thing that's popped up. Sexy nun outfit. How old is this person? Let's just... Okay, 16. 16 and... Yes. That's... Yeah. It's a shame I can't show you, but I don't want to, kids dressing as schoolgirls. This is... So we've got 3 kids here. They've got the short black shorts, short black stockings, like ripped black stockings, a white shirt, purple tie, trying to be the Joker. They're about 13, 14 and 15, and yes, they're covering the top half, but the legs with the ripped stockings and stuff, sexualized, it's not appropriate. These pretty jokers have returned from their trick-or-treating. Okay. The next one. Another young girl wearing Harley Quinn. Fishnet stockings and the whole Harley attire. And she... Does it say how old she is? Because... I'd say 12. A 12-year-old dressing as Harley Quinn. And then we've got... Okay... That's a 15-year-old dressed up as the Bride of Chucky. Another one, Harley Quinn and Joker. 2 girls that are 13, Harley Quinn and Joker. Okay. I would say the Joker one's more appropriate. The next one is a 14-year-old wearing a sexy nurse's outfit. No, not appropriate. 10-year-old being a police officer. That's not too bad. That's well covered. I thumbs up to that one. That one's okay. A 16-year-old wearing just a mini skirt, stockings and a fishnet top. Not appropriate. And this is just on like Threads. I've never used Threads before. So one 11-year-old is wearing a... That's the chick from Scooby-Doo. Daphne. That's appropriate. Everything's covered. Well done. I would definitely say that's a thumbs up for me. Harry Potter theme. Now I have seen a lot of these. Hermione Granger. Yes, that's very appropriate. Now that one, I'll admit that's appropriate. Well covered up. Thumbs up. 14-year-old dressed as a ballerina. Now she has her bra hanging out. Pink tutu. Yeah, that's very inappropriate. That I will say is very inappropriate. And this, like, I've got the Wednesday Addams outfit. A lot of girls are wearing that. And don't get me wrong, like, considering Wednesday is not an appropriate kids show, and you got your kids dressing like that, and that's definitely not cool. Another Harley Quinn, but this one's even worse. This one, oh my god, this is like, you go look it up yourself. This is how do you let your kids? And there's another one that they've dressed their kids up 80%. Girls just want to have fun, and the girls literally underage wearing nothing. How is this even illegal on Facebook and Instagram? Oh my god, what the fuck's that? That's not cool. And you should see the comments. These dirty, perverted old mans are like, oh, cute little thing, you sexy little thing. Dude, you're fucking old enough to be a granddad. Like, what the fuck? Well, she's definitely an adult. That's actually quite cool. I actually like that outfit. But yeah, like I said, Halloween isn't supposed to really, like, I'm sorry, but it's got to be an age thing where you can't sexualize your children in a way that, legs are showing and boobs are showing, fishnets. It's the thing is, it's all bloody Harley Quinn shit. It's just Wednesday Addams, Harley Quinn, and I'm not following any of these, by the way. It's just it comes up on Threads. Now, witches is very common. I'm noticing witches are a very common thing. I understand fully, head to toe covered is one thing, but when they're showing a lot of leg, it isn't appropriate. I'm sorry, but and here's the thing with adults. I've always considered Halloween more of an adult sort of thing. It gives an adults a way to express themselves that they haven't expressed themselves. The difference between adults, when they go out on nights like tonight, they will go to a pub, get drunk, and get themselves into trouble, basically. Alright. So, Halloween is Friday, October 31st, which is tonight. So, this Halloween, I'm just going to say, I wasn't going to, celebrated October 31st. Marked the end of year, the beginning of winter, the eve of the Celtic New Year. The ancient Celtics believed that on this night, the barrier between our worlds and the spirit world become thin, and ghosts and spirits could roam freely free. That's pretty much it. And there's obviously, I typed in Halloween date on Google, right? And then you click on images, and you see people dressed up, but it's mostly adults. I have noticed here. And it's good that adults dress up for this. It's a bit of fun, it's a bit of spice. I mean, me and my fiance used to dress up for Halloween. She looked amazing. She used to take not our little nephew anymore, but my nephew trick-or-treating, which my parents reminded me tonight. But I do think it's one of those things where it's very dangerous for kids. And I don't think that, kids, when they see people's costumes and go, oh, what's that? Oh, that's Freddy Krueger. A kid shouldn't know what Freddy Krueger is. A kid shouldn't know who Jason Voorhees is. A kid shouldn't know about Harley Quinn and the Joker, for example. I mean, it's not age appropriate. Would you let your kids watch a horror movie if they're under the age of 15? No. Would you let your kids dress provocatively at that age? No. So why for Halloween you do it? Now that was just Threads. I'm going to go on Instagram because I'm kind of curious here. So yeah, Threads has got so many. And don't forget, it's Halloween here. It hasn't even... I've got to show you this. Alright. This is Keanu Reeves. What a stud muffin, eh? Look at that. Good on him, eh? Now that is cool. I'm sorry, but Keanu Reeves, you get a thumbs up. That's awesome. I just as soon as I saw that, I was so still scrolling just to see if there's anything. It's just mostly all Harley Quinn, witches, Hogwarts. No, so Chucky. Alright, now I'm going to have to say something. You're dressing your kid up in a Chucky outfit. Your kids shouldn't even be watching Chucky, especially Series 2, if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. And kids dressing up... That's a little girl dressed up as Freddy Krueger. This is what doesn't make any sense. Why... These kids don't know who they're dressing up as. And you're encouraging kids to dress like that. I'm going to go to Instagram. I want to see if there's anything on Instagram. Instagram I don't think would be as bad. So for some reason, Instagram's a lot safer. Yeah, I don't see... So it's mostly threads. Instagram doesn't have any... hang on, let's go to... Halloween costumes. Let's just type it in. So, Instagram. Just typed in Halloween costumes for me. Harley Quinn again. But these are mostly adults. Like, you don't... Like, you can type these in yourself, but... So if you go on Instagram and type in Halloween costumes, it's mostly adults that are wearing appropriate stuff. Yeah, that's fine. That's more like it. It should really be an adult sort of event. Kids can celebrate Christmas, kids can celebrate Easter, but why are you encouraging your kids to dress inappropriately? Like, I don't understand that. Well, why are you encouraging your kids to dress the way they do? So now this is the first time I've clicked on Facebook for the night. Let's see how parents have dressed their kids up. This could be scary. Okay, that's Little Red Riding Hood. That's okay. That's adorable. That's adorable. That's appropriate. Well done. Good mother. Good mother there. Yeah, Facebook's got it right. From what I see, a lot of parents have actually dressed their kids appropriately. The adults, they're allowed to dress a little bit provocatively. So let's have a look. So, okay. I see a Wednesday Addams, but very appropriately dressed. Yeah, that's good. That's all about. But go on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and go see some of these costumes. I mean, I think it's something that everyone's got to go have a look at. I think we are not aware of what's going on in the world and how people dress. Like, if I was a parent, I would definitely, not encourage my kids to, wear anything violent. Harry Potter's fine, and fairies. Well, I would definitely say that there's got to be a line crossed sooner or later with what we let our kids wear and what, is appropriate in life. And I said this in the previous vid, the fact that I've seen people give their kids that are underage marijuana, methamphetamines, cigarettes, all this other stuff, I think it's absolutely disgusting that you're encouraging your kids to do illegal stuff. And yeah, I know I'll leave the link to that video. I just couldn't believe it when I saw in front of me someone give their kids methamphetamines and drugs and dope. I was just like, I'm sorry, but what the actual fuck? Like, what is wrong with you? What is coming to the world right now when I've seen some shit in my time, but when I saw that, I just could not believe that adults would do that to their own kids. And I've made it very clear on that video that if I had a brain about me, I would report this person to the police. But unfortunately, police don't do shit when it comes to, drugs and stuff like that. First you got to prove that the adult's giving it to the kid. But then I'm like, okay, why not to drug test the kid and see what's in their system? Because I believe if your kids have got methamphetamines in their system or marijuana and they're underage, then It's your responsible. You should get the book for an A. Now, final substitution on Halloween. Like I said, I do think it's more of an adult thing. Take away trick-or-treating because that's just dangerous in itself. I remember one year when I was driving, I think I was on my way to work or something. I was on my way to poker, and I would literally turn the corner and there's like a little mini side street, and literally hundreds of kids on the actual road are just walking along the road. This is dangerous in itself, but you're actually on the road walking where cars are doing. That's a lane where cars drive, and you're covering the whole road. I blame the adults and the parents. They're putting their kids' lives in danger. And it's fucking dark outside. Why are you encouraging your kids to go out in the dark? I'm sorry, but you're letting your kids go out in the dark. And you don't know what kind of people are out there. Oh, but it's okay. They're with adults, they're with other kids. No, it's still dangerous. It takes one sicko to just grab, chuck in the car, and that's it. And if you don't think it happens, oh, it does. These sickos wait for events like this, and they've got it all planned. They know how to snatch a kid, and they know how to grab it. And then if the kid's, wearing something sexualized, yeah, it's like trick-or-treating for them. Will they get the treat or will they get the trick? This is where you need undercover cops in the situation in these sort of groups. Because, like I said, unless you know what door you're knocking on, then yeah, it can be really dangerous. Anyways, I've said what I've had to say. I will get in trouble for this, but if you're a responsible parent, you should start right now listening to what your kids listen to. Watch what they watch. Play what they play. Because apparently Roblox, I've never played it myself, but apparently there's a lot of pornography on that. And if kids are accessing that, probably ban it. Fortnite. See, I'm a bit 50-50 on Fortnite. So, years ago I would have said, oh, Fortnite's just stupid, rah. Right, so I ended up playing it. I'm hooked now, by the way. Got a Simpson event coming in November, but it's still, at the end of the day, shooting other people. No, there's no blood, there's nothing, but there's still horror characters in that, and you're still shooting other human beings. Your kids shouldn't be encouraged to play violent games like shooting. Now, Fortnite, you'd say, well, it's a kid's game. I bend that rule so much to call that a kid's game, because it's no different than Call of Duty or Warzone or any other shooting game. You're still picking up a gun and you're shooting other people, sniper rifles and stuff like that, and you're still running over people with a car. Yes, it's only kid friendly because there's no blood, but I still think it's a sort of game where it's basically ripping people off and scamming people. I mean, when you have to buy a skin that's, for your character, because that's the only way you customize things, but you can't have that skin. So, say, for example, if you got Batman, you can't put him in a Harley Quinn outfit. You can't put Batman in a Joker's outfit. I think when it comes to Fortnite, there should be a way where you just got a plain character, just like yourself, and when you unlock these skins or purchase these skins, you should be able to use those skins on other characters. Sorry, I just got a message. But yeah, I don't think it's appropriate for kids to dress up inappropriately. I don't think we should be encouraging kids to, play violent games. And I definitely don't think kids should be subjected to what they get subjected to these days. If you're going to be a good parent, it's time you start being a good parent. Because if you want your kids to grow up in a safe environment and a positive environment, then you got to start today. So check the 4 corners of your screen, and I'll talk to you all soon.